Everyone, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 15. Another game from me and from Descara. This is going to be Group A. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Descara's the lowest seed in the tournament, of course, so he has picked first. He grabs Sabon, I'm going to grab Galcian, and then he takes the Boneyard, which I was actually pretty happy for, but then I rolled this spawn and I was like, oh well. Descara and I did a bunch of practice of, like, fighting off the Rail Rush. That was before the changes to base runner cost, I think, but still. I felt like it'd be a little bit dangerous to run that, but I still want to do something aggro, so I decided probably his answer is going to be LAV spam, and I'll go up with early assault chips. And sure enough, that is going to be what he does. We played these games actually like 30 minutes ago, so very fresh in my mind. And this game 1 is very strange. I think you'll enjoy it. Since we've got a bit of a lull in the action, go buy Homeworld Deserts of Kharak and Homeworld Remastered. They're on sale for like 90% off. Do it. You must. It's non-negotiable. So yeah, there's a soul chip fab for me. I think I might have too many on RUs here actually, but I don't know. Helps me get the upgrades a bit faster, but will slow down other things. I do want to be building skims though. One mistake I've made in the past is to like move the PC out without building skims, and then he gets jumped on by LAVs and just straight up dies in the midfield. That's always a little bit unfortunate, you could say. As in, it literally just ends the game immediately. So you don't want to do that. Yes, unfortunate. Very unfortunate. There's a soul chip tech. Now I want to start building one of these. Okay, there we go. I had to do a little quick drop for it, but... Oh no, I was saying, if you like walk out in the middle without building any skims and then your PC just dies. Yeah, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But I'm not gonna do that. I've learned my lesson from many hard games where that's happened to me. Now Descara is already building an SC, so he's thinking of 2 base here. And so the game plan, in fact, this is very similar to A Game versus Descara, the group stage match that we just cast their first game on Boneyard, although the spawns were flipped. But the idea is that I want to push, I want to get some damage done here. Stop my opponent from being up on 2 base for free. That's the call. It's gonna be AV fab for Descara to try to answer this. And normally the play then is to go back onto eco. Yes, this is the one. But I was thinking to myself, maybe I can actually stack up assault chips over here and then push in surprisingly. Something that we see work every now and then. So I'm actually going to hang around with this PC. But it looks like I'm going economy here, which is very threatening because, you know, Descara's got to make sure he's not just letting his opponent be on 2 base for free. It's like carrier production upgrade coming out as well. I always need to be a little bit careful around this carrier because it does have the armor break with the railguns, and then these LAVs will just chew up the assault chips, so... I'm not sure. I mean, it felt actually pretty playable during this game. We'll see, though. We'll see. One thing that really surprised me is that, like, the Sabon carrier starts taking a lot of damage during this game. Just to assault chips, which you're not really used to seeing, but it is, you know, the squishiest carrier in the game at Powers Grow. Yeah, this was kind of weird though, because like these LAVs started running by. I thought like, does he know where I am? So I decided, okay, I'm gonna have to reveal here. And then I realized about at this point, what he's doing is just jumping over here. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of a fake threat, right? Because even if the carrier gets pretty low, he can just power up the armor and he won't die to it. But you can force your opponent to power that up. So good, good, good. You love to see it. Power 1 teching for me said I can fight off these LEVs a little bit better. And that turns out to be a good thing, because I think Descara is actually going for the dive here. A couple salves die on the second base. I killed the ALM too. But again, you can see smoke's being used actually to keep the carrier alive, which is like starting to lose health pretty rapidly here. Let's keep our eyes on this front for just a second. Look in the depth packs. Oh, it's only one. I didn't have any money for more of them. If I did, I probably wouldn't have lost any salvagers there. But it's okay, I have this LDM salve, so he can just go replace the guy who died. Not the worst thing in the world. I'm actually feeling pretty good about that. Death pack's on the other side, though. And Armor Break is definitely doing its work here, helping these AVs to fight. But right now, I think the unit's lost tab looks pretty even. Yeah, it's actually pretty good for me, it looks like. Again, Carrier taking a bunch of damage here. And he'll never die to this, right? He can just power up the armor at some point, but, you know, that gets his power out of the other systems, so I'm still pretty happy with it if I can make that happen. I wonder, actually, why the power in range. I would expect, weapons instead, but... Now, if I were playing this game again, I think at this point I would try to go Railgun Fab. I think I go Eco here, but I can't exactly remember. But this looks like actually a really good situation for pushing in with rails. Huh. I suppose, like, when you're rotated like this, it allows this turret to fire a bit more likely. Yeah, maybe that works. But yeah, you can see this is going to be ref mode for me. Well, you can't see it yet, but you can tell. It's very slow, though. I'm not going to get ref mode terribly fast this way. So Alien manages to survive here. Yeah, I mean, it does railgun damage, so... Powering the weapons doesn't increase its damage per shot, only the fire rate. But it gives you the missile too, which I feel like is pretty nice. There's ref mode for me, finally. And you can see I still want to poke here. I think Descara has the same armor as me now, though, so it's a little tough. But I'm holding him off of 2 base, so that's still fine, but my eco is not particularly fast either. Yeah, you know, looking back, then I really think I should have just gone railguns and tried to finish the game off. Descara gonna do the same thing, though, right? He's getting railgun tech now. Sal's gonna die on second base. I mean, that's really good for me again. Now he might be in some danger, though, because I think he's got the numbers on me here. And at any rate, he has the health bars effectively, because I have armor break on quite a few of these guys. Well, you know, I'm up on 2 base already, so I actually am feeling not too bad about this, but definitely Descara has the tech lead, I should recognize. Yeah, you can see with armor break it's really tough. Plus, I can't focus fire as well as he can, because once one of them gets low, he smokes it. See that? This is exactly the micro you want to do with these APs. Guy starts getting low, you smoke him, and then make your opponent change focus fire. Gets all of your health bars really low, but it means that nobody actually dies, which is the important bit. And now the unit's loss is starting to swing out of my favor. AVs are faster than assault chips as well, so when we get to this scenario, it's really tough to get out. You can see smoke micro very, very good for Descara here. Yeah. I mean, really, it makes all the difference. You can see how low all of these health bars are, right? It's because I focus fired each one of these AVs at some point, but I can't get any kills. You know, that's what AVs are supposed to do when they fight assault chips. Because assault chips just win if you just run the units together at each other. But railgun tech done for me now, by the way. But this is a bit late. And again, Descara took all this health bar damage, but he can just go back and heal it up. It'll take a while, but he can. I've got railguns on the way, I think. Yeah, there's one building here, but they're gonna take a long, long time to get out. Exactly so. Exactly so. Armor 3 teching for Descara as well, that's always gonna be nice. Especially because he has railgun tech, right? And, you know, railguns benefit from it too, so... You love to see it, you love to see it. There's Armor 3. I actually saw the blue flash there, so I knew he had gotten it, but... Still, we're gonna poke up here because I know I have the health bar lead, but this is a little bit dangerous. He does have a bunch of smokes available again. Yeah, I really shouldn't take this fight. Well, it looks like I'm gonna be okay, though. And here comes the railgun meandering along, but obviously Saban railguns are pretty good too, and he's already got them out, so... So now Descara's jumping up to 3 base, and I'm still like trying to make this push work, which is not very good. I do have my next PC, so I can set up 3 base as well, but I'm gonna be slower than him, and now things start looking pretty bad, I think. A couple base runners being built too. The way Descara plays, these really are combat units, you know? Not to mention the probes are great too, because they give vision for the railguns, and that's going to allow him to always be fighting at max range too. If you weren't aware, railguns outrange heavy railguns by a little bit. Apparently I have EMP rounds, which is interesting, but I don't have range calibration, which is what I really need, so... That sounds nice, that sounds nice. Yeah, the probes are really good for Descara, the TJs are going to be really good for him too. Yeah, he makes space runners into combat units. It's very fun to watch. Probe dies, so that's nice, but he can always make more. And you look at the armies on the field now, this is starting to look a little scary for me. He just has quite a lot more than I do. And there's more coming every day, I'll tell you what. So... You know, I don't want to get anti-air just to deal with probes, you know what I mean? Maybe what I should have done was built like a base runner as well and keep it around the railguns here so it can use the base runner heal. Can use the scanner to get vision and stuff like that, and it can also shoot down these probes, but... Yeah, I really need range calibration, which is on the way now, but this tech takes quite a while. And I'm operating on quite a skeleton crew here because I'm trying to like set up my bases, get honor guards out, stuff like that. So I really want to delay here if I can. Apparently we're in range here, so this is good. I actually have high ground as well. EMP gonna land too, just to buy some time. Scar has a frontline SC, I love that. His carrier is still really low, but that doesn't really matter. Railguns trade 1 for 0 so far. That's pretty nice. This is why you get armor 3, by the way. Like you can see, the assault ship does manage to finish the kill there. Still, though, railgun's going down on my side a lot faster than his. I really need to be focusing this guy who's being armor broken as well. Okay, now we have range calibration done. Of course, the visual broke for it in the last patch, but that's just, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Units lost tab looking not so good. Not so good, I would have to say. Yeah. This ain't delicious, I'll tell you what. Building a couple more heavies, but like once my opponent gets this place, the game really feels tough. This guy really needs to be backing over the hill as well. It was good for me to poke out and get the 1 kill, but then I had to run. A little bit slow on the trigger there. I'm gonna have an honor guard though. That'll change things, I'm sure. No, this game's pretty much over at this point already. And Descara getting the extracts out too. That always feels nice. Dep packs being used here out of desperation. They actually didn't hit the rails though, so you know, they didn't actually do too much damage. Oh, and a railgun pops out and dies instantly. Very, very sad. PC goes down too. Yeah, that ain't good. And like I said, the game is really pretty much over at this point. But I can see what I can do with this honor guard, maybe. You know me, I always like to hang on for a long time in these tournament matches. Carrier can tank for some time, although it is going to eventually be at threat of dying here. The honor guard is actually doing some really good damage, it's worth saying. But of course, Descara has a trick up his sleeve for that one too. Hiya! Oh, it didn't fire just yet. There it is. Beautifully placed. I'm actually gonna run like through the entire circle here, which is not very ideal. This is a very slow way to get out of a TJ. Oh, and then I stopped. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're not allowed to stand still when you're in a TJ. That's a bad thing. Yeah, exactly. Honor Guard's gonna go down. And at this point, my carry is so low, I figure I'll just let Descara kill it. Seems gentlemanly. Nice shot, bro. Nice shot. And so Descara will take game 1. Honestly, I think that was not a bad opener for me. I just didn't really follow it very well. And we'll jump into game 2. Same faction picks. This time I have the map, though. It's going to be GT Alt. I don't know, I think it was actually looking pretty good for me. It was kind of a complicated game though, so it's a little hard to say. Here we are on Galzian territories. How are you going to beat the Galzian on Galzian territories? Can't be done. Can't be done. Base Runner Retire comes out for Descara. It's going to be LAV Fab first, and that does make sense. He wants to make sure he can fight my skims out in the open. Because he knows this is a very, very good railgun rush map, and that is going to be my plan. You can see I'm prioritizing money quite a lot here, actually. I'm building like 8 salvagers before I get Sandskimmer Fab. So that means Descara will have the lead in the early game with the LAVs, but it'll let me get my railgun tech a little bit faster than usual, as well as my second PC. So that's the idea there. There's Sandskimmer Fab. And here come the LEVs screaming out across the desert. This map is interesting, of course, for having a very, very small rush distance. And it's all, like, open terrain, basically. There's hills, but there's no... Like, there's dunes, right, but there's no rocks or anything that blocks movement, so... Definitely a fun map, definitely an aggro map, you would have to say. A map with character, you know? That's what I think. We've been playing on this since, like, 2019, I think. So it's not as new as, like, Kartober or Shallows. I think Canyon Outpost is the newest map, actually. 2PC should be on the way now. You can see Descara still definitely has the numbers advantage. And that's kind of by design. I'm going very greedy. Like, look, I've even got another RU cell out. Speaking of fireworks, scanner died. There's the second PC. And Descara will see this once he gets vision on the carrier, if he's able to get some vision anyway. But I think he can see the salvagers, or at least he's probably seen them already, and kind of knows how much focus there is here. Yeah, actually these LAVs have not had vision on the carrier all game, so... I guess it's a little bit harder to poke in there than it looks. I mean, this is a situation where, like, the strikecraft numbers are really crucial to the defense, so you're never going to just drive one out to C. Right? Because if you lose one LAV, maybe you just lose all of them, so... Second PC about to pop now. And you can see Descara has stopped building LAVs, he's got his SC out. Production upgrade now, so he's going to try and get some more out on the field. But in the meantime, that puts him in a bit of a power trough where I definitely have the numbers. And now with 2PC, I'm really going to have the numbers. Railgun tech on the way, though. And still nothing has died yet, except for the scanner, I guess. This smoldering Rick. So definitely a bit of a tense game so far. I think Descara probably ought to know what's up now that he sees the 2PC, but I guess he's a bit confused, he's saying. Too much wine, I don't know. AV Fab on the way for Descara. This is a lot of skims, that's nice, but I do feel like, although AVs can fight railguns, it's dangerous to take that sort of play. And there's gonna be an assault rail on the queue for me. I did lose 1 unit, so I ruined the thing. Terrible, terrible. Yeah, the idea with this build is that if I see that you win SC first, I'll be able to get my railguns up really, really fast. But definitely, if you go LAV first like this, it slows me a little bit. Scar's on 2 base, by the way, so I think he's not unhappy with the status quo. He just has to be aware that Galzian's pretty good at sieging this kind of thing, so... He is getting LAV armor, which will be nice, help him in case these skims ever jump on top of the LAVs. That's going to finish in just a moment. Support cruiser, even chipping in just a little bit, getting some heals out. And here's the first heavy rail for me. I think I even have EMP. Oh, I just started it, man. Yeah, normally in a rail rush, you see a lot more trading than this, but I mean, we haven't fought at all. It's kind of funny. Evens up the scoreline. Very nice shot there. Very nice shot. Yeah, assault rails are really nice for that. They can just get picks on the LAVs. Actually, you want them to be at range too, and so you kind of play into your opponent's. Like you make your opponent's normal strength with the LAVs, which is staying away from the sand skimmers, into a bit of a weakness for them. EMP round's gonna finish right now, which is pretty timely. So I'm just gonna drop it on these AVs here. Slow down this push, and they don't have any smokes left. So with the push being slowed down, this is actually really, really nice for me. Skim's gonna trade up on the guy who got armor broken, just take him out. And yeah, that's actually a really, really good trade for me. That was like perfect timing on the EMP finishing. Yeah, you know, like you take one bad trade like that, it almost feels like the game's just over when it's this close. We have Assault Pack teching, these LAVs are really teched, but it's like you can't just run in because you might get EMP'd, so it's a scary proposition. Not to mention, although the railguns are not going to do huge damage against the LAVs, they do armor break, so that's actually pretty impactful. Kills an assault rail there, but he loses too many LAVs on the run back. And that's what I was talking about, right? The EMP on the LAVs is going to make things very dangerous. And now I just want range calibration, which again, this is why I'm mining so many RUs, so I can get these techs. Although you can see, I actually still have quite a few RUs left. Yeah, just picking off ALMs too is really, really annoying for Descara. So happy these finally show up on the units lost tab, but you know, it gives you a better picture of like how much he's actually lost here. And range calibration is almost done. Once that finishes, I'll be able to range the support cruiser from here, so Descara actually has to push on this position, so that feels really nice for me. Looks like he wants to get as many upgrades as he can before that moment, though. EMP gonna go wide over here, actually. Oh, and that one's terrible. I should probably turn off calibration and start running there. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Assault rail maybe is gonna die for this, but looks like the heavies will be fine, and that's the big investment for me, so that's okay. Well, those are some bad EMPs, though. But just the LAVs weren't able to get involved in the fight, so maybe they were fine. They were zoning EMPs. That's what I'll say. Zoning EMPs. Okay. And yeah, this is where things start getting really cancerous. If you don't mind me saying so. Just these railguns up on the high ground here, it's like so annoying to deal with this, because they can just shoot you for free, so. Yeah, you know, that's a good point. I mean, you have to imagine the upgrades are spent, but I did actually spend quite a bit to get EMP and calibration too. Still, though, the units lost tab not looking particularly encouraging here. He is going to try and stop the mining with just a couple LEVs. That's always a nice move. But I'm not really interested in dealing with it. I'd rather just kind of keep these guys back at home and leave my skim blob up here, because this is where I can win the game. So, not really too worried about that. Swan carrier untouched as of yet. But it doesn't really have any capability of fighting these railguns, and you can see I've pushed him off of his main base, which is really, really unfortunate. He's gonna try and get back up onto there now, but I have a feeling that will be short-lived. Calibration gonna turn on. You can see I ranged this salvager from all the way over here, so yeah, he's gonna have to run away. And yeah, he's bothering me over here, but it's not a big deal. If I'm denying his main base, I'm happy. Now I can take the God Hill. That's always nice. Because of the, like, little dip in this hill here, you can actually get vision when you're standing up on top of this, like, beyond that hill, so it's really, really annoying. There's only safety, like, in this little divot, so... Yeah, Descara's carrier's starting to get hit. Yes, yes. And he's like, alright, I'm done with this. And then I EMP the corpses just for good measure, so... So there you go, it's gonna be a 1-for-1. Just like every other series in Group A so far. We really are well on our way to that 4-way tie I was talking about. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Could happen. Whoa, my gosh, my voice cracked. Could happen. Could happen. The 4-way tie. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It's been a good series. Go buy DOK, it's on sale. And I'll see you guys next time.